happened with Frank, and then my buddy Glenn Mazzara sort of moved it into the realm of running that show. And you know, the process of show running and vision is not something that everyone can do. You know, it's not just someone or something that is, as I said in my tweet, is interchangeable. You have to have somebody that understands the process of making a television show week after week after week, and what are the things that brings an audience in, what are the things that keeps an audience coming back, what are the things that set up the structure and the backbone for a narrative in a series that you can add and grow from week to week, from season to season. And that's a really specific skill that you have to learn. It's a specific skill that comes innately. It's part of the talent. It's part of the creative process. And you really have to, at some point, hand that package to an individual and say, here it is, here's the property, here's the world, here's the character, run with it, and really trust that person, that auteur, that they're going to deliver the show. And the results of that are the episodes, the results of that are the ratings, the results of that are the critical acclaim that follow. That's how you know the person you've handed the reins to is delivering on their promise. In my own case, you know, I've been very lucky that I've been with FX my entire career, pretty much because I hate change. But, you know, when I took over Sons as any show, when I created Sons as any show, you know, there's growing pains, there's discovering what the show is. But I have a network that trusted me, handed me the reins. So even when the ride was bumpy, they trusted me and we pushed through. They didn't come in, they didn't throw somebody at me, they didn't pull me off of it. You know, they have questions, they have notes, they want to understand where it's going, but ultimately they trusted my vision and they allowed me to do what it is I do. And it's been an imperfect experience, it's been an imperfect show, you know, but I've managed to deliver, and now over the years there's a sense of this is the result and this is the payoff for them, and that's the process, that's the way it works. And what happens is that you have people that don't trust that, you have people that are fear-based, you have people that do not understand the creative process, that live off of demographics and live off of research and try to second guess everything, you know, what they think an audience is going to respond to, and that's death to the creative process. You know, it's not a coincidence that the best shows are on cable, because cable, you know, there's more of an independent spirit. You have networks like HBO and Showtime and FX, and even though that's premium cable, but you know, that hand visions to auteurs and allow them to find their vision and allow the show to find themselves and ultimately be what they are. There's a corporate culture that happens in network television where there's so many cooks in the kitchen and there's so many hands all over the project that it's usually noted to death and turned, you know, there's a constant striving and compression towards the middle. You know, here's the middle, let's get it down the road because that's what they believe people want to see. And every once in a while you will have great shows that can live in the middle, you know, and shows like Modern Family live in the middle and they do very well. Those are very rare, you know, which is why most of the quality shows are on cable, because it's a different creative culture. So when I see the potential of that happens on my network and other networks, and then I see what's going on at AMC. It's counter, you know, and when I see them constantly, time and time again, degrade the role of the writer showrunner, and meddle with the process, and in so doing, not only do they reduce and diminish the creative reins of a showrunner, they crushed their show. The Walking Dead has now fired two visionaries. They have Kirkman now, who owns the property, who, they've, Robert is an amazing visual artist and a graphic artist. He knows very little about TV, and the reins the reins keep going back to him in this process, and he doesn't know how to run a show. So consequently, you have somebody that has a completely different understanding of the property and the material, looking at it this way, and trying to have it become that. And that's not what TV is. TV comes at it, from a completely different way, and consequently, those visions keep colliding, and as a result, people like Darabont, people like Glenn Mazzara, keep going away. And look, the show has a tremendous following. It has legs. They're going to plug somebody else in there. They're going to plug some poor soul in there. Or my sense is that they won't even hire a showrunner. My sense is that what they'll do is, they'll upgrade, they'll throw a shitload of executives at it, and they'll take some poor sap on the writing staff and fucking elevate him and make him, they probably won't even call him a showrunner. They'll just call him head writer or something, and that poor sap will be, ultimately just expediting the notes and the vision of non-creative people, or at least non-creative TV people. And will that work? Yeah, it'll work for a minute, I think in season 4, when this will all happen, the numbers will be big, and people will show up. Will it continue to do well? No. My sense is that without somebody like a Glenn Mazzara running that show, eventually it'll lose focus, and the narratives will run out of steam, and it won't be able to build off of itself, and it'll suffer. That's my opinion. And maybe and I've been wrong before, but that's my sense of where it'll go and what will happen. And it's too bad. I think ultimately people will keep shooting themselves in the foot out of fear and out of ignorance. And again, is it any of my business? No, but if people watch this video, at least I think it's the truth that needs to be. Not, does it need to be told? Probably not. Do I want it told? Yeah. And I think Sean Ryan's tweet the day that it happened was the most potent and perhaps the most important, which is, if you're an artist, if you're a showrunner, if you're a guy with a vision and a great project, why would you take it to AMC? When they've developed this culture of not believing and not trusting and not supporting their visionaries. There's too many other places that would to take it, and so that's the deal. And look, I have a tremendous amount of respect for Gail Ann Hurd. I love Gail. She's a friend of mine. I know she's very writer friendly. She's very supportive of artists. My sense is that she's caught between a rock and a hard place. and she's just trying to, continue to put out the best show she can under those circumstances. So, and I know Glenn is going to go in there for the last half of this season and do the best job he can do, and move on. That's just the deal. But so that's it. That's my response to things that have been said, and again, none of my business at all, really. But I say this in support of my fellow showrunners, my fellow artists, and hopefully, as a little bit of a wake-up call, maybe to AMC. Not that they give a fuck what a douchebag like me thinks or says, but they're a publicly traded company. They are a publicly traded network that isn't necessarily concerned about viewers. They're more concerned about stockholders. So, and from all indications, their stock is soaring. So they probably don't give a fuck. But that's the deal. I don't know if I said anything that I wanted to say, other than I support and have a tremendous amount of respect for my fellow writers and showrunners that do what I do, and in any capacity. It's a tough gig. It's not an easy gig. It's a fantastic and wonderful gig. I just try to be as supportive as I can. And that's the deal. Happy fucking New Year.